Hey everybody, welcome to Don't Copy That Floppy. I'm your host, Lex.
I'm Dan, the
Yeah.
other host. I am a normal facet of the show.
Dan is a normal facet of the show. So we're a weekly video game news podcast.
On Chipbit Radio.
Chipbit.net. Some people have been having a little trouble with their player.
Oh yeah, I saw that on our Facebook page.
They have a TuneIn account, which is tunein.com, I believe, and you can search Chipbit on there, and it works fine there. You can also download
a playlist file
from the Chipbit website and then load that into iTunes and then listen to it no problem, which is how I usually do it.
That is correct.
How I monitor the show.
Yeah. We're being monitored as we speak.
Oh, man.
By ourselves.
We're so tyrannical.
So, you can listen to us that way. Like I already said, we have a Facebook page that's just Don't Copy That Floppy.
And we have a Twitter. You can follow us there at DCTF Podcast.
I have a very serious question for you, Lex.
Oh, yes? What is it, Dan?
Does anything actually get posted on our Twitter?
Everything.
I've never gone to our Twitter.
Thanks.
I think I'll go and make a Twitter account and follow us.
Your support for the show is overwhelming, Dan.
I keep forgetting that we have one.
No, the way the Twitter is set up is it's linked to our Facebook, so anything that gets posted on the Facebook gets posted on Twitter.
I see.
So
technology.
So you don't have you just post stuff on the Facebook, and it's like you're posting stuff on Twitter.
That's amazing.
Also post hashtags on the Facebook, and then there'll be hashtags on Twitter.
Oh, I can finally use a hashtag.
I know, right?
I've never done that.
Excitement.
So, speaking of hashtags... Hashtag
theft?
Old terrible video game?
Oh, we're starting with this. Actually, we should say we've got a lot of great stuff on the show for today.
Including theft.
We've got the reemergence of Night Trap.
Yes.
So we've got theft. We've got
some Metal Gear. A little snippet about Metal Gear.
Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff about GamesCom.
Because that happened on Tuesday.
Yeah,
this past Tuesday.
Germany.
In Germany, that's right. The video game mecca.
Yeah, the least important game convention of the year at GamesCom.
There was some neat stuff, though.
There totally was, yeah.
And then, so a lot of Gamescom stuff, and then just a little roundup of video games coming out in the next week or so.
Oh, yes.
As well as a short review.
Some sweet Blizzard ports.
Did you have a review?
I didn't.
You did not.
Oh, wait, we could review this old game that's coming back.
We could review this old game. If we have time at the end, let's just do that.
Okay, let's do that.
Because I didn't really prepare a specific review either.
Right.
Normally, for those who don't know, one of us will do a review of a game, be it old or new or DLC or something, at the end of the show. But we're not doing that, maybe. Or maybe we are. Tune in to the end to find out.
Okay, you better stay till the end.
So yeah, let's talk about an old bad video game that has kind of resurfaced here. What game are we talking about?
Night Trap!
Get so excited. Fall into the Night Trap. Is that how the song goes? I can't remember.
I don't know.
So yeah, Night Trap revamped.
No.
For people who don't know, the Night Trap has vampires in it. So
the antagonists are vampires, but you won't know that until the end of the game because the game is so horrible.
Also, they look like they're just guys in gas masks.
Well, no, at the end of the game, they look like vampires.
Oh, that's right, they do.
Yeah. But the guys in stockings, they have stockings over their heads.
Yeah.
They're like ninjas, except instead of having the eye holes in their mask, it's just a black stocking mask.
So, this is a Kickstarter by Night Trap LLC.
Now, these are the dudes who made the original Night Trap. It's like the same development team.
Yes.
They bought the rights to Night Trap off of whatever company owned it, because that company didn't want it, let's face it.
Lord knows they didn't.
And
oh my god, I forgot that you're a scat operative.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Night Trap.
In Night Trap you play the role of a scat operative
that stands for Special Control Attack Team.
It was originally Sega Control Attack Team.
Really?
But they changed it when they ported it.
Oh yeah. Makes sense.
But it was fine. They could still keep all of the costumes.
So this game is being kickstarted. A Kickstarter is being done to release a redone HD video version of the game.
Yeah, because for those who don't know, the way this game works is it uses actual live action video footage.
Yes.
And then you press buttons
at the right time,
and then it plays other clips depending on whether you
typically
did it right
clips involving a Night Trap.
A Night Trap. The house is full of night traps.
And you use them to trap the vampires and stop them from abducting attractive young girls.
This is part of the famous trap 'em up genre from the early 90s that for some reason that genre just didn't keep going.
Did you just make that up, or are there more?
No, that's actually a thing.
Wait, are you serious?
Yes, if it was on Wikipedia, I think it's true. Then again, it was on Wikipedia, so it's probably not true.
It's true enough.
Yeah.
I want to believe.
No, really, it's a trap 'em up genre.
Okay, the trap 'em up genre. So yeah, this Kickstarter seeks to re-release Night Trap with the video in HD. They're asking for $330,000. They have 24 days left and have currently have pledges of about 31,000.
Which actually means they probably won't make the goal.
No, it's not sounding like they're trending to make it.
Yeah, because when I originally saw this article, which was like several days ago, it was at like 27,000.
Yeah.
So they're obviously, their growth rate is not such that they will make their goal.
No.
Unless something dramatic happens.
Which is sad?
Not really.
No, not really. This game kind of only got it was notable because of the like kind of public outcry it caused among people who didn't like video games. Because I guess it was the combination of it being real people and like violent quote unquote situations, even though the game is devoid of blood or like on-screen death.
Yeah,
or anything.
The way it
wasn't it compared to snuff films?
It was.
Yeah.
There were congressional hearings and stuff.
Yeah.
Named I think it was Joseph Lieberman. He's a senator. I think he might still be a senator.
Yeah, he's still around.
Was running it, and yeah, the thing is, in the game, you're tasked with protecting these young teenage girls who are having a slumber party from
as part of a very serious military operation.
Well, yeah. And from these augurs, who are basically, they're vampires, I guess.
Yeah.
Who sneak into the house to grab these girls and kill them.
Yeah.
And so the point of the game is you're supposed to save them, and if you don't, you do get death sequences that are played, but the deaths are, I mean, by today's standards, or even movie standards of the time, are extremely mild.
Really? Like, yeah, like, and I didn't mean really as in like a question, I meant they really are.
To affirm.
I am affirming your statement, not questioning.
Yeah, the way that the girls would typically die in this is the augurs would come in, they look kind of like ninjas, which is weird, and one of them would have like this backpack with like this big grabber claw thingy.
And they just like...
And they would grab the girls by the neck, and then you would see a close-up of the side of the grabber claw, and it was like a drill, and it would start going in, so it was like, it was gonna drill into their neck.
But it cuts away before like anything actually happens.
Well, technically it does drill into their neck, but there's never any blood.
Yeah. And
it's never, when it actually hits their neck, the camera's never close enough for you to like see any kind of impact, because there wasn't one, because it was too low budget to do those kind of effects.
Yeah.
Then the girls don't die immediately when that starts happening, but they start going like, and stuff like that.
Because the game had fantastic acting.
Yeah, it did. And then they get dragged like off screen, basically. And those are the way the death sequences are in the game. And there was outrage over this, which is crazy to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was outrage over Mortal Kombat, too. And while Mortal Kombat was bloody...
Kombat, yeah, it has a lot of blood.
Yeah, but it was, like, so cartoonish at the same time. And I get that at the time it was, like, there weren't games that were that bloody and, like, graphic with, like, the spine ripping and stuff. But at the same time, you look at it now and you're like, this is like, super, super cartoony.
Yeah.
And inoffensive.
And the hearings were about several different games. Night Trap being one of the main ones, Mortal Kombat.
And this is all what led to the ESRB being, like, instituted.
And also Doom was in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doom I can understand as well.
Yeah.
It's pretty gory.
So yeah, that's this game is sort of like historically kind of important,
but it's not good.
No, we've watched a lot of gameplay of this game.
Yeah, we don't have the means to really play it.
I mean, I could have downloaded an emulator.
Yeah,
it was technically released.
Shh, that's legal.
It's fine. It was released for a bunch of different systems, including DOS, and I do have DOSBox, so I probably could have downloaded it.
But it's like, it's really just not really worth playing.
No, I mean...
So I'm not really surprised to see that this isn't on track to succeed, this Kickstarter.
Because it's a joke. The game is just known as a joke. Kind of in the same way that, like, the E.T. game for Atari is a joke.
Yeah.
Because it's so bad.
Yeah.
So no one really wants to play a remake version. But because the game graphics is footage, and obviously it was super down-resed for, like, the systems this was originally released
the Sega
for.
And stuff.
The Sega CD.
Sega CD.
I think that's what it was originally released for.
Everybody's favorite.
Yeah. Right next to Dreamcast.
Oh, yeah.
So, Sega had a lot of misses, huh?
Yeah, so that's why they don't make consoles anymore.
It's true. So all that footage, because it was, I guess, shot on film, is in much higher quality. So the idea is if they get properly funded, they can re-release the game and the footage will be in its original quality.
But it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
There's also a big old article on Kotaku that just bashes the Kickstarter, talks about how these guys don't know what they're talking about, and, like, nitpicks all of the rewards.
It's a whole nother Yog Ventures.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
But on the one hand, I'm like, okay, some of the points they're making are, like, legitimate, but on the other hand, it's like, these guys are actually developers. They made this game the first time.
Yeah.
They may not know as much about modern platforms.
Yeah.
But they do know how to make a game. So when a lot of the article is nitpicking, like, oh, you can't do this with, like, RAM, this is ridiculous. It's just, we talked to another game developer and they said that these guys don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And I just thought,
they
give them the benefit of the doubt. They are game
They also
designers.
said that it said the guy in charge of the Kickstarter of the project said that they cost them $250,000 to buy the rights.
Yeah.
To the game.
Which is a lot.
They already did.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they care, I guess. Night Trap was their baby.
Yeah.
So, like, this thing isn't gonna... Like, and Kickstarter, you're not... The intent of the Kickstarter money is just to do the project and make the backer rewards. You're not doing it for a profit, typically. At least not initially. Like, the initial money collected.
I think that some people who do Kickstarters smart will, when they factor in the rewards, they're like, okay, so this reward will give you this item.
Yeah.
So the amount of money that the reward is for will pay for that, and then it would theoretically also pay the designers a little bit. Yeah. So there's like a percentage that you work out.
Right. The fact that they've already spent $250,000 means that for them to just even break even...
Yeah, they need
to get the Kickstarter goal.
Yeah. And they probably won't.
They probably won't, which is kind of sad. Because they spent $250,000.
Well, that was the risk that they took. And if you read the interview, they knew that was the risk that they were taking, and they were okay with it.
Yeah.
A lot of, this Kotaku article from, when is it from? Like, Tuesday, which is what, the 12th and 13th?
12th.
Yeah. It's, on the one hand, it's, like, kind of a good article, and on the other hand, it's a really whiny, annoying article.
Yeah, it's kind of, like... Yeah, it's whiny.
It's really whiny.
That's like...
It's kind of what I expect from Kotaku, actually, now that I think about it. But they interview the guy...
It's like they're trying really hard to get this guy to admit that he can't deliver. Is how a lot of the article feels.
Yeah, and a lot of their questions to the guy is like, but can you deliver on all
Yeah, but can you
promises?
Really do it, though?
And the guy's like, well, we might not be able to. The Kickstarter could certainly fail, but we're going to give it a shot.
Yeah, and then they're like, but do you really think that you can do this? It's very, like, accusatory.
Yeah, it's not really a very fair interview with the developers.
Professional interview.
But...
Stay gold, Kotaku.
Some of their points are good. It's definitely an article that's worth reading.
Yeah, an interesting thing that will probably be forgotten in not too long, unfortunately.
Go watch. It is totally worth watching, like, mashups of Night Trap footage, because it's really
absolutely.
funny, and how bad the
Or just the playthrough.
is.
I mean, you and I both watched the Game Grumps playthrough of it.
That was pretty
funny. Which is quite entertaining.
Yeah.
So you get to see a lot of the game, and... Did they beat it? I can't remember.
They couldn't.
Yeah, they couldn't.
Even with a walkthrough, they couldn't beat it.
You get to see a fair amount of the game, and it's just a fun time, those videos. So if you want to see a good portion of it. Also, you get to hear the fantastic theme song. Night Trap! Ooh, Night Trap!
I need to download that song.
On that note, let's talk about theft.
Theft!
Everybody's favorite subject in the video game world.
Okay.
Last week we talked about Randy Pitchford. This week we'll talk about other theft.
Oh, theft. So in an article published again in Kotaku, on also the 12th, we have Shady Minecraft Convention disappears, ticket money missing.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Shady conventions disappeaing is never good.
So Minorama was going to be a Minecraft convention in New York City.
Yes.
And
Which is cool because, as we talked about before the show, most of the Minecraft conventions happen overseas.
Yeah, where the
like
company
Europe and
actually
stuff,
is.
Because, Notch is Swedish, I believe.
So there's definitely a market to have
Yeah.
some conventions like that in the States.
Yeah.
It was a good idea. This was supposed to happen last month.
The tickets were $150 each.
Wow, that's expensive. But I guess the way conventions are going now, maybe that's not that expensive because conventions are blowing up.
That still sounds expensive to me.
Blowing up.
Even compared to, like, I don't know. Maybe I don't have a good gauge
For a
of
first-year convention, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if this was like E3, then I would
Something
be like,
established.
yeah.
Yeah, or like Comic-Con or something.
So this was supposed to happen between July 11th and 13th.
Yes.
Now, on July 7th, the organizers of the event posted something on Twitter saying, in all caps,
Please
note, we are not a
scam.
scam. And then continued to
Possibly the scammiest quote I've ever read.
Yes. It continued to say, it is with deep regret that I have to inform you that Minorama has been postponed. Stay tuned for updates.
And the next day,
he
added that financing fell through.
Somehow.
Like, I don't know what that means. That's a super vague, like, nothing excuse.
I believe it was in the weeks that followed, all of the social networking for this event was scrubbed
Their
from the
website
internet.
is down, their Twitter account's deleted. Like...
It's gone.
Yeah.
They're gone. They're totally gone.
Facebook account exists, but has not been updated since July 8th.
And no one can, like, find these guys.
No. And the money unaccounted for by these ticket sales, they sold 3,600 tickets, which equates to, like, $540,000.
$500,000
of money that is now completely unaccounted for.
These guys just took that money and ran.
Like, yeah, this is pretty blatantly a scam.
Yeah.
Please note, we are not a scam. So, some people have been, like, one ticket buyer quoted in this article says, I never heard from Minorama, not surprised they've completely disappeared. I filed a claim with Chase, still waiting for a determination. But the people who paid through PayPal have no chance to recover their money because the tickets were purchased so long ago. So, like, PayPal's not backing them up, people up on this. Because, I mean, it's outside, I believe they have, like, a 90-day period in which you can file a claim to get your money back.
And I hope the cops are going after these guys. I'm sure they are.
I'm sure there's being something done. I mean, it's not like they don't have their information.
Yeah.
Still, like, somebody has their info somewhere.
They probably skipped the country, went to the country where they actually make Minecraft and have conventions.
Oh, here's the best part. So this, did you say we were reading, this is another Kotaku article?
Yeah.
We found? Okay. I must say I like this little end bit, quoting from the article. This morning, I called Timothy Carroll, another of the organizers behind Minorama. I introduced myself as a reporter with Kotaku and asked if he could answer some questions about the convention he helped organize. No comment, he said, and hung up. Fantastic. Fantastic. So, if you are one of the people who bought a ticket to Minorama, my heart goes out to you. Because this sucks.
Yeah, you just got robbed.
This is, like, really, really crappy. Like,
yeah. So what I'm thinking is, and I think this brings up the bigger point, that conventions in general are just like exploding all over the place.
Yeah, there's all these small conventions cropping up everywhere. Like in each, like towns are getting their own conventions for things that are like exclusive to that town.
And the big conventions that were the only things there before are just huge.
Yeah, they're massive.
And the reason why a lot of these smaller ones are popping up is because it's just so hard to get into E3 or GamesCom or Comic-Con.
Yeah, and some people just want an easier time. Like it's nice to set up a smaller environment where it's easier for people to get in. Especially also for people who like make stuff to sell at cons, like amateur creators of things.
Yeah, those people have been entirely pushed out of the big ones.
Right, exactly. So it's great for them to have these smaller places where they can sell their stuff and show what they've got. So yeah, as that becomes more of a thing, it's just the conventions in general are cropping up everywhere. So people need to watch out now because when stuff like that happens, inevitably there will be people who take advantage of it. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I think people just need to demand some sort of more liability from the people who are running these things.
It's as simple as that.
It makes sense, though, that they would do this because...
I'll tell you, people are going to be suspicious of any new Minecraft conventions that
definitely
start coming up now.
But I think it was like 6 months or a year ago, maybe even not that long ago, I remember reading a story about a My Little Pony convention in California.
Yes.
That was going to happen, and then the convention did happen, but all of the artist talent who showed up were all paid with vouchers for their time.
That's sketchy.
Yeah, it's super sketchy. And then, the last night of the convention, the person who was, in charge of it, who was handling the money, was just gone. And all the money was gone.
Oh, no.
So then all the artists were like, oh, thanks, we devoted all of our time to this convention, and now we're not getting paid and all. Yeah. So at least the fans got to go to the convention, I guess. True. So that it wasn't screwing over them.
It seems like, it's not a scam in the same way that this was.
Yeah, this is a much larger scale as well, because this is $500,000, where I think that was maybe, 30 or 50,000, which is still a lot of money.
It is.
But it's significantly less.
Yeah.
But that person, they just got out of there, and it was super easy for them to just rip off all that money and leave.
Yeah.
So maybe these guys saw that and thought,
why don't we do that bigger scale?
Yeah, we can make so much more money.
Yeah. And if this was a scam, which it seems like it was, I bet part of their plan was to start selling the tickets early enough that PayPal people couldn't get their money back.
Well, that's the other thing, too. Convention tickets sell so early.
Yeah, they sell them months and months ahead of time, regardless.
Because I remember
and they always sell out very quickly.
I did want to go to this past year's PAX East, and I had tried to get tickets 3 months before the convention, and they had long since been sold out. And I thought, 3 months before an event, all of your tickets are sold out? That's nuts.
That's the same with, Comic-Con and Anime Boston and other big conventions like that.
Just the nature of the modern convention, because it's just so...
Yeah.
Convention's so big now.
People who do the con circuit just wait till the day the ticket sales go up and grab it all at once. So they sell out within a couple weeks, usually for the bigger ones.
I'm actually waiting to see if the whole convention sort of thing, implodes at some point. Because the last, I think, 5 or 10 years, it's just gotten so big that I'm worried that people are going to start being like, this is ridiculous, it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
And just stop going. Because it's also all the reports you hear from the big conventions is, well, I got in there, and then it smelled really bad, and everyone was sweaty, and I couldn't get to any of the things I wanted to get to.
Needed to stand in a line for hours to do anything.
Yeah, which just doesn't sound like fun
at
all.
No. I'm a big, anime fan, but I've never really wanted to go to, Anime Boston that badly. Even though it's so close by, just because, I don't think it would really be that much fun.
But you could see all the cosplay.
I can see that on the internet.
That's true.
Conventions. Be careful.
Be careful. For those of you just tuning in, you're listening to Don't Copy That Floppy on Chip
Don't
Radio.
copy that copy.
Oh, no. Don't Copy That Floppy. It's not just a podcast, it's the law. I'm making that a tagline on some sort of print media that we have somewhere.
Okay.
I'm doing it.
Do we have any print media yet?
No. It's gonna go on there.
Now we're ready.
No, we have our Facebook banner and stuff.
Oh, that's right. Our quotes. Yeah. That's right. Our reputable quotes.
Our quotes about game journalism.
Yeah.
Seriously, check out our Facebook. It's kind of funny.
Do it. Yeah, Facebook. Don't copy that floppy. Or Twitter at excuse me, I'll just start again. At DCTF Podcast on the Twitter.
And
you can listen to us on Chipbit Radio, chipbit.net. You can do it right on the site player, or you can download a playlist file for iTunes.
You can search it on the TuneIn website. They've also got streaming on there. And I think probably next week we will have an iTunes.
Oh, so excited.
Get excited. We're going to actually have an archive.
Oh my god.
We're going to link it on all the social media.
You can go back and listen to all of our shows. And have tons of fun.
So much fun.
So much fun. I don't remember what we talked about in our early episodes.
It was bad.
It was probably really bad.
It was bad. Do you want to mention...
now it's a masterpiece, this podcast, though.
Oh, master. Well, our old episodes did have some soundboard in them.
That's true.
We had turtles.
I feel like we've kind of given up getting those to work. Maybe you haven't, but I'm just going to... Maybe someday.
So I want to talk really quickly about Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, this is cool news, actually.
Metal Gear Solid 5, as announced in a Destructoid article from the 13th,
yes,
says, hey, Metal Gear Solid 5 gonna be on Steam.
As well as Ground Zeroes.
That's
So Phantom Pain and Ground Zeroes. I guess they're both sort of part of Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah.
But Ground Zeroes has been out on consoles for a while now. So they're bringing that over first, and then when Phantom Pain finally comes out, God knows when, it'll be on there too. Which is really cool. I would be more excited for this if I thought my PC could run those games.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I've seen all the...
They're gonna be high spec.
What's it called? Foxhound Engine?
Just Fox Engine. Fox Engine,
okay.
yeah.
It's
beautiful.
it's nuts.
Yeah, it's super good.
I'm sure my computer can't run it. But at least, like, now...
The option exists.
The option exists. It's cool.
Yeah, all these people can play Metal Gear on the PC. This is great. Metal Gear's fantastic, so everybody should play it. If you haven't played Metal Gear, go find a way to play all of them.
They're great.
Just do it in order. They're awesome. You'll have quite an experience. So yeah, and Metal Gear Rising came out on PC, which I believe, which they're saying is maybe what led to this, because I know Metal Gear Rising did very well when they ported it.
Now, which Metal Gear was that? I don't remember.
Rising was a spin-off title, where you played as Raiden, and it was like an action game.
I thought that was Revengeance.
That's the subtitle. The title of the game is Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
I forgot it was titled like that.
Yeah, they gave it like the silliest title ever. But that was developed by Platinum Games.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, under Kojima's supervision, because he owns Metal Gear. So, but that did really well when they ported it to PC. So now they're thinking, like, okay, there's enough Metal Gear fans that we can do this viably. And I feel like it's at a point in the development of Phantom Pain where it's still easy for them to, like, start working on a PC version.
And especially,
and Ground Zeroes is a small game, so it's easy for them to port over.
I especially am happy about this news because all we've been hearing lately in news about game releases is stuff about how, like the new Tomb Raider game is going to be an exclusive.
Yeah, all this exclusivity stuff.
So it's really nice to see, like, oh, hey, this is going to be on more platforms.
Now, the new Tomb Raider, that's a game with a bad title. Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. That's so bad.
I also thought it was weird that the plot device in that game is like, oh, she has post-traumatic stress from the first game.
Mm-hmm.
So the way she's going to deal with that
is by raiding tombs.
And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not how you get over post-traumatic stress. I'm pretty sure that's how you, like, have mental breakdowns and die.
In a tomb.
Yeah. At least you'll already be in a tomb. That's convenient.
Yeah. Cut out the middleman.
Oh, no.
Folks, when you need to die, just go to a tomb. You'll be all set.
Archaeologists are going to find you later. It'll be
You're
great.
like, what's this guy doing here? So,
speaking of Kojima, though...
Clutching a copy of Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider in your hand. Ancient knowledge.
Speaking of Kojima, though, great news out of GamesCom. So the rest of this episode is probably going to be about GamesCom.
Because there's a lot to talk about. Why don't we start with PT, though?
PT.
Because we're on the Kojima kick right now.
Oh, man. Playable teaser.
PT, this is super cool. And I wish I could have played it. Because I don't have a PS4. But, basically, PT was announced as basically like a horror game thing, at Gamescom. And they said at Gamescom, you can play this right now. And sure enough, if you went on the PlayStation Store, like, you could download this game.
It's like 1.5 gigs or something.
Yeah, and just play it. It was just right there. And it is, as you said, a playable teaser. And that's why it's called PT. It's not the actual name of the full game.
Yeah.
And this is... You're exploring, like, a house in first-person view. And the graphics are spectacular. It was done in the Fox engine, I believe. Same as Metal Gear.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people were saying that they were pretty sure it was done in the Fox engine, and it would make a lot of sense. And people are saying this thing is freaking terrifying. Like, it's legitimately horrifying. Like, the game plays with space, so you end up walking through the same hallway over and over again, and it's just very dark and very atmospheric, and there's scary monsters. And there's seemingly no way to beat it, I believe. At a certain point, it just kind of ends in a frightening manner.
No, what happened with it is...
I wasn't sure about that.
When you play it, you apparently get to a certain part of the house, and then it brings you back to the beginning of the house.
Okay.
But stuff is different. And the idea is...
You play through it multiple times.
Yeah, so you discover different things, and then the idea is that if you do it if you do a certain combination of things, then that unlocks the actual ending.
Okay,
from
got it.
all the reports,
Because people were trying to. That's right. People were trying to solve it. Like,
Yeah.
try and figure the thing out.
From all the reports that I've read, it's like it's almost impossibly difficult.
Yeah.
And it might be that only certain copies can actually win. From the Kojima quote about it, that implied that there was certain parts of it that, like, he said that there were parts of it that were in multiple languages, and
Yes.
he thought that people were going to come together and, like, in some sort of community to try and put together pieces of the puzzle
Yeah,
and
people who
figure it
know
out.
different languages and stuff.
Which kind of implies to me that all the copies can beat it, but it is just crazy difficult, and you can't do it on your own.
Yeah, you need to collaborate with people to do it.
But
So now you mentioned Kojima now in relation to this. So this was a teaser, essentially, for the new Silent Hill game.
yeah, because
which-
when people actually beat it,
Yeah.
that unlocks a trailer for the game, and you get to see characters in it, and then at the end
Yes.
it says the name of the game.
Yes.
Awesome.
So it's going to be the new Silent Hill game, allegedly being made in the Fox engine, which is awesome.
Awesome.
And it's being worked on by Hideo Kojima, which is also super cool.
Yeah.
And Guillermo del Toro, I believe.
Yes, Guillermo
It
del
said has a
Toro.
part in this.
The guy who made Pan's Labyrinth,
Pan's
and
Labyrinth, the
Hellboy,
Hellboy
and
movies,
Pacific
the
Rim.
Pacific Rim, and yeah, all that good stuff. I think this is really cool.
Yeah, this looks amazing.
Like, this is the coolest thing that came out of Gamescom, in my opinion.
The-
Just, like, as a concept for this teaser, and then, like, just the fact of what it actually is, too, and who's working on it, that's awesome.
The title of this article from CNET from a few days ago that I was citing for a lot of this is PT is pure video game marketing genius, and I totally agree.
Absolutely.
Because it totally is.
Yeah, it absolutely is. They give you a free playable demo, in a way.
And they make it, like, impossibly hard,
Yeah.
so people...
And it's like this big mystery, and it really gets you thinking about it.
And then the internet explodes over, like, oh,
Yeah.
what does it mean? And then you finally find someone who's beaten it, and then that gets all over the internet.
Like, every single time, or like, or from now on, and no one's gonna not be paying attention to this game as it's being developed. Like, this is gonna be huge now, just because of PT. Like,
Kojima also has an amazing quote about this that he has towards the end of the article. And the article says, if horror fans were concerned Silent Hills won't be as terrifying as PT, Kojima's remarks do a convincing job of squashing any doubt. And he says, there's a limit on how scary you can make a game, but in this case we're ignoring that. If you don't want to keep playing through the game, so be it. We don't care. That's the game we're aiming for. We're aiming for the game that will make you shit your pants.
This is why I love Hideo Kojima. He's like, in the video game community, you have a few game makers who are kind of like auteur types who are like there to do this thing. They're there to like make their art in their way.
Yeah.
And they don't don't let anybody stop them from doing it, or any like marketing reason stop them from doing it. And Kojima's totally one of those people.
Oh yeah, when people told him you couldn't have hour-long cutscenes,
he did it.
He did it.
The end cutscene of Metal Gear Solid 4 is the length of a movie, like a feature-length film. And he just didn't care. He was like, you're gonna deal with it. No, and I respect Kojima a lot for that, because he makes good stuff, and he doesn't compromise with it. So hearing that from him, like, I actually feel like I can believe it. Like, some game developers would say something like that, and I wouldn't believe them. I would say, like, you're just hyping your game.
Yeah.
Like, but based on what I know about PT from all this, and Kojima's quotes, we're in for a delightful Silent Hill experience. I'm really excited.
This could be so horrifying. This could be the next Night Trap.
I really hope it has a theme song. Silent Hill!
Well, a lot of the Metal Gear games have theme songs.
They do. The big boss ones.
Yeah.
They have like James Bond style theme music.
Hopefully.
We can only pray.
But no, I actually would be surprised to see if this game is really as like earth-shatteringly horrifying.
Oh god, I hope it is.
If like the government does like if it brings up the whole controversy.
There's a warning in front of PT when you download it. It's like, don't play it if you have a heart condition. Like, it might be a bad idea.
And yeah, again, at first we were like, are they just hyping their game? But now I'm like, oh, maybe that actually is true.
Yeah. I wish I had a PS4 so I could play it. Like,
I watched a little footage. It's
Yeah.
wow, it's scary.
it's pretty scary.
Um,
It's one of those games where you turn off all the lights, you put headphones in,
mhm.
and you just go to town and see how long you can make it. Now, and I mean, I love the Silent Hill series, or at least before they started getting stupid. But like Silent Hill 1 through 3 are all spectacular horror games. They're excellent. They're super scary and super well made and everything. So I'm hoping that this brings back that feel that those had.
And more
Yeah.
game developers should take a page out of this book
As far as marketing their
as far as
titles.
marketing goes.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, Gamescom. Let's go through some of the big announcements everywhere.
So
Maybe
what
start with Sony?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
PT was from Sony.
Yeah, so we'll go into the rest of theirs. Sony's first big announcement was the sales numbers on the PS4, which they're
Wow.
claiming 10 million units.
Yep.
Very good.
Since last November.
Yeah, which is, I believe, about double what the Xbox One is reporting.
Yeah,
right now.
they're saying around 5.
And the Wii U sitting at 6.8, which is more than I thought, actually.
Yeah. Good for you, Nintendo.
Good for you.
But this is PS4 is Sony's fastest selling console ever.
Really?
That's
Interesting.
Yeah, apparently the PlayStation took 2 years to cross 10 million,
Mm-hmm.
and then
What about the PS2?
the PS2 and the PS3 took over a year
Okay.
to do it.
Yeah.
What mark are we at? We're at like the 6-month mark,
A
little more than that.
Like
maybe 8.
closer to 8 or 9
Yeah.
months. Yeah. Because it came out in November, I believe.
Oh yeah, because I said that earlier. I just don't know how to count.
Yes. Yeah. It's
But,
fine. It's fine. There's 12 of them. So yeah. That's their first big announcement. They showed off. Ooh, I was super excited because they showed a Bloodborne trailer.
Oh yeah.
An actual because there was the Project Beast trailer leaked, which was an early build of the game. So the trailer had lots of slowdown in it and some unfinished environments and things like that. This trailer is like the full build of the game, showing off gameplay, not a cinematic like an E3, and it looks great. It looks super good. I don't know if you watched it.
I did not get a chance to watch it.
It looks really good.
Nice.
Like graphically, it looks amazing. The sound design seems great. The gameplay looks really fun. The whole thing looks like it's coming together beautifully. And I cannot wait to play it. That's what's going to make me crack on the PS4. Like I know it. That and Metal Gear. So yeah, and now the new Silent Hill, I guess too.
Yeah.
So
there's Silent Hill. There's Bloodborne. They also talked about Until Dawn, Wild, and Hellblade.
Yes.
Which didn't get quite as much. Those last 3 didn't get nearly as much coverage as the other 2, so I haven't seen much from them.
Hellblade is... I will talk about Hellblade briefly. Hellblade is by Ninja Theory.
Okay.
Developers of such masterpieces as Heavenly Sword, Enslaved, and the Devil May Cry reboot.
Oh no.
So when I'm saying masterpieces, I'm being sarcastic. Because all of those games are mediocre, at best. So when I saw the Hellblade trailer, I was like, it just looks like Heavenly Sword again, and like I don't care, because in my opinion, Ninja Theory does not make particularly good video games. They don't make bad video games. They make functional but thoroughly unimpressive video games.
Yeah.
So it baffles me that people hype them so much, I guess, and that this trailer got a lot of hype at Gamescom. And I was kind of like, did people pay attention to the other games that they've made? Like,
now, the other really...
So that one's not terribly great.
Yeah. The other really big thing that Sony talked about was their share play. Now, this is something they talked about at E3 a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They sort of teased it. They were like, you'll be able to play these games with your friends, but your friends won't have to own them. I think they talked about it with Far Cry or something.
Yeah, they talked it up with Far Cry mostly, and they showed off a little more of that with Far Cry in this one.
But
they also
now
explained that it's not going to be part of the story, I believe. Like, for Far Cry Story Mode is sort of a free roam mode that is going to allow this.
Well, that makes sense, because
play.
Far Cry does a lot of free
And remember,
roam
we
stuff.
were wondering about that, like if there were going to be certain missions that were co-op or something.
Yeah.
Or, apparently, it seems like it's going to be a free play mode, sort of.
Okay.
Which is fine. I'm sure they'll put in some little objective things for it and everything, like just go destroy this base or like whatever.
Just go destroy this base.
Just go blow it up. Get on your wingsuit and your elephant and have a fun time.
So, SharePlay, they actually outlined exactly how the system is going to work. And the idea is that everybody has to have a PlayStation Plus account, which are $50 a year subscriptions.
Yep.
So
you get a lot of benefits with it.
Yeah. So and this is an awesome
PlayStation
one.
Plus is actually a much more appealing deal than Xbox Live at this point.
Oh, definitely. I think it has been for a long time.
Yeah.
And the idea is that one player who's friends with you on PlayStation will have the game.
Yes.
And then they'll allow you to play it with them.
Yep.
And then you will
You
play
jump
for
on
free.
in there
You won't
and
have
have a
to
good
have the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sweet. And it's sort of the article in Motley Fool that talks about this, that's from the 14th, likens it to this retro thing that Blizzard used to do, and other companies did it as well, that was called spawning. And you may remember this from StarCraft back in the day.
Yeah, you go Diablo also.
Oh, yeah,
the first Diablo had a spawn thing.
And that was where you would bring your StarCraft or your Diablo disc to your friend's house, put it in their computer, and then there was on the install screen, there was a spawn copy feature.
Yep.
Because all these games still had serial codes.
Yes.
Because actually Blizzard did that earlier than a lot of other companies.
Yeah, they
using
did.
The serial codes.
Partly because I think they wanted to do the spawn.
Yeah.
It was some copy protection for them.
And the way that it worked was that if you had StarCraft, or if you were the friend who got StarCraft and spawned it onto your computer, then you could play online.
Yeah.
And that was all you could do with it.
Yeah.
And you could, if you bought the copy, you could spawn it up to 4 times or something.
Yeah, it had an upward limit on it.
So yeah, it was a really great marketing tool to get other people to be oh, I've gotten a taste of this game, and now I definitely want to get the real game. And I think these days, or less these days, but after this thing happened, what we saw a lot of was companies move toward using demos. So it'll be a free downloadable demo.
Yep.
But now it seems like we're moving back toward the spawn idea.
Yeah,
sort
well,
of.
now that the net infrastructure for these games and consoles is stronger, it's easier for them to institute stuff like this.
Yeah, because everyone's playing over the internet, so it's
it's become such a bigger thing for home consoles, because PC gaming has always had a lot more online stuff going on, even in in the earlier days of gaming. You have Ultima Online from the 90s or whatever.
Oh, and the first Neverwinter Nights was an MMO, one of the first MMOs. Yeah.
All those games have been big online things for a while, and it's only more recently that online for home TV consoles has been a bigger thing. It was in the Xbox PS2 generation that kind of started, and then it really took off after that. So it's a much more recent development. So it kind of makes sense that it's going that way.
I dig it. I think it's great. I'm really glad Sony's doing it.
For sure. What other games did they talk about? Until Dawn. Until Dawn just looks like a horror thing.
Yeah, that has some really nice. Okay, I haven't watched much.
I watched the trailer. I watched the trailer for it.
It's not actual footage. It's not Night Trap.
No, it's not. It's not as amazing as Night Trap.
But it has very nice photorealistic graphics and probably sorority girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely has sorority.
There's a
girls.
bunch of college age folks
at
a cabin at night, and then scary things happen. It looks like a slasher film style thing. I don't really know what the gameplay is supposed to be like or anything, but I don't know. Nothing about it really jumped out at me.
No, it just seemed
remarkable.
Another horror game.
I mean, when you compare it to the new Silent Hill, it just seems like it's going to be really lackluster.
Yeah, totally.
Just based on what little we've seen of both. Hellblade couldn't care less. Wild seems interesting. So this is a game coming out from a new studio founded by the creator of the new he's the original creator of Rayman, and Beyond Good and Evil, which is an old PS2 Xbox game that a lot of people liked. I never actually got a chance to play it.
Played a little bit. It was really good.
Oh, okay, so there you go. And he left Ubisoft to form his own little studio. And apparently their first game is a game called Wild, which is an open world game. It looks to be set in a pseudo prehistoric fantasy type setting.
Okay.
Sort of. And allegedly, according to this, the game will be the size of Europe.
Oh,
That's pretty big.
I mean, it is a smaller continent, but
that's pretty big. The
least
trailer for it looked really intriguing, though. Although it didn't really give much insight into what the game will actually be like. It looks like sort of a survival adventure type thing. But I'm not really sure beyond that. But something to keep an eye on. Let's talk about Microsoft.
Oh my gosh, I found out a release date for something we're going to talk about at the end of the show.
I didn't open the right link. Where's Microsoft stuff?
Microsoft stuff. So Microsoft stuff is... Oh no! I think I sent you the wrong link originally.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, folks. Technical difficulties. While Lex figures this out, I'll station identify us. You're listening to Chipbit Radio. You're listening to Don't Copy That Floppy, which is a video game show on Chipbit Radio. You can tune into us at chipbit.net or download a recording file or a playlist file for iTunes. We're just like a video game news show. We broadcast every week, usually Fridays, 7 to 8. Today we're doing it Saturday, 7 to 8, because we couldn't yesterday. You can also follow us on Facebook. Please do. Don't Copy That Floppy. Or on Twitter, at DCTF Podcast. Yeah.
Found.
Did you find Microsoft's announcements?
Yes.
Excellent.
Okay, so this is also...
for the people who are just tuning in now, we're about to talk about the stuff Microsoft did at GamesCom.
Yeah.
We just finished up Sony.
This is just Motley Fool's take on the Microsoft thing.
Okay.
So sort of to keep it consistent with the Sony one.
Yes.
But Microsoft had some cool stuff. Not as cool as Sony. Sony was probably the winner of this.
Sony was stronger in this show.
Mostly because a lot of what Microsoft talked about was, again, a lot of what they talked about at E3, which was the Master Chief Collection.
Yes.
And just being like... And also they talked a lot about FIFA.
Yeah, they were like, look at Halo 2 Remastered. They showed off Halo 2 Remastered like a ton.
So they talked about shooters that we already knew about, and they talked about sports games.
Yeah.
Cars. Yeah. Now, I understand why they spent a lot of time on FIFA, because it's Europe, and, like, they love FIFA, because they love football over there.
Yeah,
weird. But yeah, so a lot of their press conference was that. They also talked more about Fable Legends, which, again, was just a game that I didn't care very much about.
Me neither. Nothing about Project Spark.
Nothing about Project Spark. But they did talk about exclusive, or not exclusive, but consoles that are themed around a certain game and packaged with the game.
Oh yeah, they announced some special console bundles and things.
And one of them was a
Sunset Overdrive
Overdrive
right?
one.
Yeah.
And a lot of those. So I was reading. I thought this was super interesting. A lot of those bundled consoles, not only do they look a little different, but they come with larger hard drives. So they come with like 1 terabyte hard drives, which is really cool actually, because especially with the way modern games are, that you download everything.
Yeah.
A 500 gigabyte hard drive, which is what the normal Xbones come with, is like, we're getting to a point where that's not enough.
Yeah, so having a terabyte gives you a lot of wiggle room.
They also talked a lot about Rise of the Tomb Raider,
which is going to be an Xbone exclusive.
Woohoo! Yeah. That I talked about how I didn't understand the plot of that game earlier in the podcast.
Yeah.
It was dumb.
Yeah.
But those were the things that jumped out at me about it.
Yeah, honestly, not much else really caught my eye.
Oh, I'm sorry. There was one really big thing that jumped out at me that I was saving until the end to talk about, which was Shadow Realms.
Oh, yeah.
Was. So
was that shown during Microsoft's press conference?
I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah. I can't remember which one it was during, but it probably was Microsoft.
Yeah, and the Shadow Realms is BioWare's new property.
Yes.
And it's like, they've been talking about how they want to make a new RPG sort of IP for a while, so this is their attempt.
They want to do something fresh.
Yeah. And it's cool. It's like kind of it's the modern day, but there's sort of this...
It reminds me of Shadowrun.
It does. It reminds me a lot of Shadowrun, except without the cyberpunk parts of it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have the technology, but it has the same idea of magic in the modern day.
Yes.
And people like hip punk kids
those hooligans
using magic to beat up demons and junk.
Yeah.
Now this game, it doesn't really strike me as a BioWare game. Not because it's not an RPG, and the idea that it's set in the modern day, like, that's cool. Like, I give them props for trying to go in that direction in terms of thematically. But the way this game works is it's actually very similar to Fable Legends, except admittedly it looks a lot better than Fable Legends. This is a game where you have 4 players playing against a 5th player who controls a lot of stuff on the map, and the 5th player will do stuff like create traps within the dungeon and all this different, and like place monsters and spawn monsters and stuff. And the 4 players adventure through this dungeon, hacking and slashing RPG style, fun times, trying to make their way to a boss and win. Yeah. It actually, the gameplay reminds me in a weird way a lot of like Left 4 Dead. The way, like, the pacing of it, the fact that it's very team oriented.
Left 4 Dead with a very different theme.
Yeah, and that there are, like, the different monsters have, like, different strategies to defeat them, so you kind of have to work together to do that. In that way, it reminded me of that. Yeah. Except when they were hacking apart monsters, like, you'd see that monster's health bar above their head going down. I'm like, okay, well, I guess in that way it's different from Left 4 Dead. And there are traps. But otherwise it seems like it plays very similar.
Yeah, I remember you said your concern with this was that it didn't seem as story heavy. It seemed like just kind of a dungeon crawler.
Yeah, because that's what BioWare's
always
known for.
Always kind of like put story first.
Like immersive,
that's one of their big things.
Immersive RPG worlds.
Yeah.
They've always done a great job with that.
Yeah.
From Baldur's Gate to Mass Effect to
Mass Effect had some incredible world building.
Yeah, to Dragon Age. Yeah. They've done such a great job with that in all those games. So it's weird that now they have this game that seems like primarily a multiplayer map game.
Right.
And one of the things that they're...
This article specifically actually says, I like this little segment, while BioWare made sure to talk up its story hooks and the amount of world building it has planned, there's already an entire page dedicated to the lore, which I think is actually a funny thing to cite because, they have, 1 page of text. I clicked on this link and it's literally just, a page, look at this cool fantasy world. I can't help but worry it's the same sort of lip service Titanfall paid to its campaign, in quotes, before we found out said campaign was just a bunch of weird radio dramas played over the top of random multiplayer matches.
Now, this is from a PC World article from the 13th.
Yeah, and I actually remember when Titanfall was announced, them talking about how it was going to have this immersive story, even though it's a multiplayer game primarily. Well, pretty much exclusively. I remember them saying, it's going to have this amazing multiplayer campaign, which apparently did not ever happen.
No.
So, I can see where the worry comes from with this.
Yeah, totally.
And I can't actually tell if this article is being sarcastic or not when they talk about this page dedicated to the lore.
One entire page.
A whole page.
Wow, that's 1 page.
It is 9 paragraphs.
Shadowrealms.com/blog/the world of Embra setting overview. There's a URL for you. They could have just said World of Embra. Yeah. Why setting overview on? Okay, never mind.
I don't know. I don't know.
But yeah, they give 4 pieces of art and a page worth of double-spaced text.
Yes.
So yeah, that's my big worry because it doesn't seem like it's going to have a story.
It really does kind of feel like, look, you guys, it'll have a story, really.
But it's not going to.
Yeah.
And they also said, the guy in charge of BioWare, or at least the guy who was at Gamescom.
Well, Casey Hudson left now.
Yeah.
So
there's no one in charge anymore.
It's anarchy at BioWare.
That's why they're making multiplayer games. They don't understand what they're doing anymore. They don't know what they're doing anymore.
They forgot.
Are we an RPG company? I don't know.
Whoa! Somebody give me direction.
No, but one of the things he kept saying was listen, this is gonna have a great story, and because this game is primarily something you play with 3 of your friends, or 4 of your friends technically, because one of them is controlling everything, which also makes it weird that it would have a story. Anyway, he kept saying you'll play through all these great story elements, and I was just but you can't do that in multiplayer games though, unless the game literally grinds to a halt for a cutscene,
which sounds bad in this type of game. Because that's the thing, is you don't want to get taken out of the action if that's what the game's about. for like a long-winded story cutscene.
And they showed us none of these story elements. They just said that they would be in there.
To be honest, too, the style of game this is, I feel, is not going to be played by people who are going into it for a story.
No, that's the other weird thing. If you're a hardcore BioWare fan, you wouldn't play a game like this.
Not typically. I mean, you might, but it wouldn't be what you would want to be playing from BioWare.
No.
And at the same time, people who play, like, Left 4 Dead a ton, or Titanfall a ton, like, they're not playing those games for a story in the first place.
No.
They're playing them for the gameplay, and, like, the action and the challenge of it. So I feel like most of the people who are going to get really into this game, building up their characters and going through the dungeons and getting really good at it and playing it constantly, are not going to care about a story. They're just going to want to play the game, as long as the gameplay's good. So I feel like they're only saying that just to appease their longtime fans and try and get those people more interested in it when they're really going for a different audience here.
They also teased.
It also makes me think of MOBA games.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Bit.
And I know, and that's what I mean. It's like not a lot, but it gives me this feeling like BioWare wants to move in this direction because MOBA games have become so popular.
God, I hope
and
not.
they want to make some kind of multiplayer.
I wonder if it'll have microtransactions.
Oh, God, I hope not.
Man, don't do it, BioWare.
I can't wait to see how many microtransactions Mass Effect 4 has. I bet there's going to be tons. So, this game, like, cool in concept. And if they deliver on some of the stuff they're saying, good.
Yeah.
But I'm very concerned.
Oh, definitely.
That this is just going to either flop hard. I'm concerned that this is going to flop hard or be a huge success, and BioWare will completely move away from their other stuff.
Yeah.
To focus on more games like this.
Because that would be a tragedy.
Especially now that the original founders and Casey Hudson have left.
Yeah.
It's kind of like... I don't know. Big changes happening at BioWare.
One of the things they actually said, they teased people in this way that I didn't find reassuring at all. Although I shouldn't have found it annoying, except for the conversation we just had, where it seems like this is catering more toward a crowd that doesn't play BioWare games.
Yeah.
They had said this is coming out on the PC.
Yes.
And someone said, "Oh, this is going to be a PC exclusive," and some journalist wrote that.
Yes.
And then they tweeted out, BioWare tweeted out, "Whoa, we didn't say it was a PC exclusive," and that's like all they said. So I'm like, oh, so this is probably going to come to consoles.
They're probably building it for consoles.
And after I'd watched the footage and thought of Left 4 Dead and thought maybe they're moving toward a different audience.
I bet that they are building this for consoles first. I would bet the PC version is going to be like a port of the console version.
That'd be too bad.
Yeah. Because that's happened before. But
it shouldn't have surprised me with BioWare just because they've put out plenty of stuff on consoles.
At this point.
Like almost all their games got on consoles anyway. So
Dragon Age and all the nice
and those weren't bad on consoles,
not.
So it's not bad.
Except Dragon Age 2.
Well, okay.
But that wasn't the console's fault. So yeah. Keep an eye on BioWare there.
We are running low on time.
Yeah, we're just about enough time to talk about some upcoming titles.
Oh, yeah.
Things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else we want to touch upon from Gamescom? Or I think we pretty much covered the big stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Nintendo didn't do a press conference.
Nintendo didn't do... They've got another Direct coming up soon, I think.
Well, we will be covering that when it happens.
Yeah, whenever it happens.
Not live though. We're too lazy.
What was your thing you're most excited about that was shown at Gamescom, Lex? Why don't we do that? What are you most hyped for? Maybe keeping your eye on.
Oh, I mean, I definitely wanna hope for Shadow Realms.
Okay, yeah. So that's something you'll be following.
I think primarily it would have been Silent Hills.
Yes.
But I'm not primarily a horror game person because I'm too scared to do that. Plus I'm not very good at them.
Right.
So if it's because with other horror games I get too scared to want to play them, and then this one is
supposed to be legitimately terrifying.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I'll watch PewDiePie play it at some point. I don't know if I'll play it. I'm
sure he will. I'm obviously most excited about Bloodborne, but that was not news to anybody. I bet at this point. I just figured we could spend up some more time doing that. So, games coming out. Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil Edition. That is the console port of Diablo 3.
The game that probably will work much better on consoles than it ever worked on PC.
Yeah, I'd say so. Got Hotline Miami on PS4 as well.
Nice.
Coming out. Plants vs. Zombies, if you're into that, on PS3 and PS4.
So a lot of ports.
Anyone who owns a Vita and likes bad anime can look forward to the 2 Sword Art Online games releasing this Tuesday.
And what's coming out on the 25th, Dan?
On the 25th. What?
Yeah.
How did I not know that this happened?
I saw that earlier in the show, and I said we were going to.
Oh my god! On the 25th, Super Time Force Ultra
for
the
Windows
PC port of Super Time Force.
So we knew for a while that Super Time Force was going to port to Windows, but for the longest time they had just said, "Oh, this is going to come out sometime during the summer." And I mean, I guess it makes sense that it would come out on the 25th because summer's about to end.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
So,
grab that right away.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's spectacular. Pumped. And if you're into JRPGs, Tales of Xillia 2 coming out on PS3 on Tuesday as well. Yeah. Or Hyper Dimension Neptunia Rebirth on the Vita. Because everybody knows those games are super good.
I don't know what that is.
That's probably for the best.
Okay.
You've been listening to Don't Copy That Floppy.
We're a show that broadcasts on Fridays from 7 till 8.
Except when we broadcast on Saturday from 7 till 8.
Listen, we were sick. Alright?
Get off our backs, viewers.
Yeah, Jesus. We're on Facebook. Don't Copy That Floppy.
Yes.
Like us on there. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF Podcast.
That sure is right.
We're probably going to have a YouTube account soon.
Yeah, we're going to have an iTunes archive soon as well.
And we're going to have an iTunes account, so you'll be able to go on there, and we'll have the archive of all the shows. You can download them whenever. You can subscribe on there. It's going to be great.
Fantastic.
You can also, if you're old school, just listen on the site.
Yes.
Chipbit.net. You can either listen on the on-site player, or you can go to the tunein.com website where it's streaming on there as well, or you can go to the Chipbit website and download a playlist file, which you can open in iTunes and listen that way.
All of these things are true.
You can do all those things. Please like us
please
on
do
social
them.
media. It'll be great. Is there time for a one-sentence review of Night Trap?
I think we can make it.
Okay.
Do it.
Night Trap. It sucks.
Ooh, Night Trap?
Yeah, Night Trap's real bad.
Also, it's terrible.
It's real bad.
But give money to the Kickstarter if you feel like it. It probably won't get funded, so you'll get your money back.
I mean, did you give money to the Kick Salad or to the
Kick Salad?
To the Kick Salad. To the Potato Salad Kickstarter?
Oh, yeah. I almost did.
Then you should probably give money to the Night Trap Kickstarter, because at least that's a thing you're going to get if it happens. Not just some guy making potato salad.
All right, everybody. Remember, tune in next week, and remember, don't copy that floppy. Floppy.